Hello everyone, my name is Landon and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing my first ever movie review on my channel. Today's movie review is going to be Pet Sematary 2019. The 2019 version of Pet Sematary, I had very high hopes for. It was one of my most looked forward to movies of 2019, along with movies like It, Us was up there, Dr. Sleep is coming out late 2019, and a few other movies. But Pet Sematary was definitely probably in my top 5, top 3 even maybe. Just because I love this story so much and Stephen King is my favorite author of all time. But Pet Sematary 2019 was just an utter disappointment. There were so many things wrong with Pet Sematary 2019. Spoilers from here on out. If you guys haven't seen the movie, then don't stick around. But if you have, or if you just don't care, spoilers from here on out. A few things that were wrong with the movie were, one thing that I definitely noticed was it looked cheap. My buddy Edward Lore touched upon this a little bit. A lot of it looked cheap. A lot of the nighttime scenes looked cheap. A lot of the effects looked cheap. And it just kind of looked like a TV show episode, like a TV horror episode of like a kid's show that's rated TV PG and they're trying to be scary. That's really what it kind of felt like at some times. Also, the acting was definitely very spotty. They made Jet Lawrence, I think her name is, the girl who played Ellie, like, her performance was amazing and it stole the entire movie. And she was good up until the point where she died. When she died and came back reanimated, being brought back from the burial ground, her acting definitely fell off the rails. It didn't really feel like Ellie anymore. I know it wasn't supposed to, but she just didn't really hold together as well as she did when her character was alive. Also, Jason Clarke, who played the most important role in the movie, Louis Creed, he definitely felt like he wasn't really caring about his role at all. I felt like he didn't really put any heart into his role. Other than that, apart from acting, I thought John Lithgow was amazing, but you can't really fault John Lithgow. John Lithgow is just an amazing actor. And Amy Seimetz, I believe that's how you say her last name, she did a very good job at selling Rachel Creed. A few things that I did like about the movie, though, were a lot of the Easter eggs that were placed throughout the movie. There was a sign signifying that Derry was 20 miles away. Judd briefly talks about a St. Bernard, but doesn't go any further with it. He says St. Bernard, and then it cuts away from him, so that's clearly Cujo, mentioning an Easter egg to Cujo. And definitely Judd's death scene. Though Ellie was the one who came back alive and killed Judd, Judd's death scene was the best part about the movie. It was the most suspenseful, it was the scariest, and it was the most faithful to the original story part about the entire movie. I loved Judd's death scene in the Pet Sematary 2019, but one death scene isn't enough to hold the movie up. Victor Pascal was hardly in the movie at all. He died, and maybe they didn't have enough of a budget to show him more, but after he died and his head got blown off, or part of his head got blown off, they didn't really show him much afterwards. They showed him in brief 2-second glimpses. In the original 1989 film, they showed Victor Pascal in full shots after he died all the time. But in this movie, they felt like they just didn't need him, or maybe they didn't have the budget to make that gooey head effect that they had when he first died keep going. I don't know. But Victor Pascal, who is definitely one of my favorite characters in the book, wasn't really present as much in the movie as I wanted him to be. Another thing that I'm going to talk about, let's talk about the ending. The ending, the final shots where Gage is sitting in the car and the dead family, Louis, Ellie, and Rachel, and Church, all of them die in the movie. But in the original, obviously, Rachel dies. Louis doesn't die, but it seems like he dies. But Ellie lives in the book, obviously, but she dies in the movie. The final shot where Gage is in the car and the cat jumps on the car and the three of them are walking toward the car, and then you hear the car noise of the car knocking. It's supposed to be a joke. Oh, ha ha ha, yeah, now he's gonna die too. It was just so dumb. It was a very suspenseful scene, and the music was picking up, and then beep beep, the car unlocked, and it was just what was that? And then the movie ended. It cut to black, and the credits started rolling. There was just so much wrong with this adaptation, and I was fine with the changes. I was fine that Ellie was the one who was going to die instead of Gage, but the direction that they took it was just nowhere near as good as the novel, and nowhere near as the original. The original 1989 film is so much more superior to the 2019 film, it's ridiculous. But there's, like I said, I'm not just going to hate on this movie, because there are definitely some decent parts about it, like Judd's death scene, some of the acting, like Amy Seimetz and John Lithgow. There were some great acting scenes between them, some great suspense build-ups, like the scene where Ellie died, that was a great build in suspense. Oh, I forgot to talk. Zelda, I feel like was relied way too heavily on in the movie. In the book, she's definitely like nagging on, like she's a nagging thing on Rachel, like it's constantly plaguing her through the book, but nowhere near as much as in the movie. I feel like they relied on Zelda's death and its effect on Rachel way too much in the movie. It was like there were so many useless jump scares that were used for it, and it just didn't really feel like it was needed in the movie at all. But all things set aside, I'm going to be giving Pet Sematary 2019 a 5.5 out of 10. I rounded that up to a 6 on IMDb. I do a lot of movie ratings on IMDb. I rounded it up to a 6 because 5.5 isn't a 5. It's like, it's a 6. I don't know. But I give this movie a 5.5 because there were just so many more things so many more bad things that outweighed the good things. There were some good parts about the film, but there were just way too many bad parts about the film, and as a Stephen King fan, this was not a good experience at all. If you want to watch a good Stephen King film that's come out recently, there's It, Mr. Mercedes, Castle Rock, 11/22/63. All of those you should be watching before you go out and pay money to see this movie. Or don't even pay money. Wait for it to come out like on Amazon and rent it for $3 as a movie night. But I would not recommend going to see this movie, especially if you watch my channel and you are an avid Stephen King fan. So yes, Pet Sematary 2019, a 5.5 out of 10. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're new, leave a comment down below what you thought of Pet Sematary 2019 and Pet Sematary in general. If you have seen the movie, if you haven't seen the movie but read the book, tell me what you thought about the book. I will be getting to a Fright Factor soon on this because this was 1983, I believe. So we have 2 or 3 books before we get to this one, but the Fright Factor of Pet Sematary will be coming up soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one.